Hi there, it's David here. I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, and that is status. Social status. If you are a YouTuber uploading YouTube videos, then what people want is subscribers and views, and the idea is the more you get, the higher your status is. So therefore there's status coming in to YouTube and social media. People who get all the followers on Facebook, Twitter, they have higher status. So status is something which people desire. And becoming a member of an exclusive club gives you status. It could elevate your status. And I was invited to apply and be interviewed to join up with a very exclusive club. And when they brought me into the room, there was a panel of people there, and they said to me, okay, we've looked at your background, your CV, and we are happy that you've got the right qualifications, but in order to get to an actual official membership, we'll give you some sort of tests. So one of the tests was an IQ test, and your standard intelligence test, and they put a stopwatch on and gave me all these questions to answer in terms of a typical kind of IQ testing, which I wasn't expecting. And then I got 30 minutes to do this. It was about 100 questions. I ended up getting my rating for that was 135. That's what my IQ was rated at that point. But it's worth bearing in mind, if you don't get a good night's sleep, your IQ can go down. It's something which isn't permanent. It's the way you feel, how alert you are. So then the next thing they said was, we're going to get you to write an essay, and it's going to be 3,000 words. And I thought, yeah, alright, when do I start? And they said, the stipulation is that we give you one word, and then you then write a 3,000 word essay on this. I said, okay, give me the word. And the word they gave me was ambition. So that was one word, ambition, and I had to then write an essay on that, and they gave me 4 hours to write an essay of 3,000 words, a dissertation around ambition. And then that task was complete. So far, so good. And then they said to me, the next thing you have to do is speak for 30 minutes. Give us a talk on a subject. In fact, it just has to be one word. And I thought, oh, not again. What kind of word are they going to give me this time? Something very difficult. Are they going to say like capitalism or democracy? Maybe they might say politics, or they might say music. So I was wondering. And they said, well, okay, you say the word and then talk about it. So I said, okay, status. That's the topic, status. And they said, off you go. You've got half an hour to speak. I thought, great, status is going to be quite a good one. So what is status? It's something, it's your standing in society, and it's based around how other people look at you. and how you're judged by your peers and by everyone else. And it's something which is very, very important to human beings. One of the most important things is their standing. So status, initially when you think about it, it seems like you're talking about how big a house someone has, the size of their car. Do they have an expensive car? Do they have a big house? Does that give them high status? Well, it does. In a lot of senses, you're seen to be someone who's successful. But once you start thinking about status, it is a fascinating and complex concept involving many, many different things, and not all of it by any means is about money, wealth and position. So let's have a look at the types of things that could, demonstrate your status and how people will judge you. So the obvious ones are the car, the house, and you maybe get nice clothes on and stuff like this. So there's an interesting one for a start. If you're well groomed, well turned out, that gives you higher status. People think, yeah, you're someone who's more impressive than a person who may have not had a wash and wearing, worn out clothes. Maybe their status would be seen to be lower. And this is all about perception. It doesn't mean to say any of this is actually real. It's just how people judge you. So the standard of your gear, your sartorial elegance, can elevate your status. Where it gets fascinating is the things that affect your status but you have no control over. And this is when it gets really fascinating, because say you're a man, a lot of women, probably most women, like a tall man. They like a man who's taller than them, and they usually prefer someone to be 3 inches taller, maybe a bit more, because then they can wear heels and match the man's height, or just be still slightly shorter. So a tall man has higher social status by perception than a short man. And we all know about short man syndrome, where they kind of overcompensate, and often short people can be, acting, behaving, trying to compensate for the height. That's if you're a man. However, the same thing doesn't happen for women. You can actually be any height if you're a woman. You could be 6'1" or 6 foot like Sharapova, the tennis player, or you could be Kylie Minogue, 5 foot or very small. But it's not so much the height with women, it's to do with whether you're the right shape. But if you start talking about the weight, in terms of women, the thinner a woman is, that tends to give her higher status. So a thin woman gets higher status than women who are overweight. Whether that's right or wrong is not what I'm saying. That's kind of a lot of the reason why people are judged. And if you think about, supermodels are always very tall and stick thin, and this means that this is seen to be high status. But it's not so much height. Height is a part of it, but it's definitely much stronger with men.